Tonight is one of those nights where, what's the old saying? The iron was unkind. The iron was extremely unkind. We did not see the ball go through the basket enough, especially when you have 80 possessions. We had 21 more than our opponent. Just not good enough. We were out-rebounded. We got to the free throw line, but we didn't capitalize off of it. I felt like it was a lot of things that we did to ourselves. We didn't convert off of the 22 turnovers we forced them to have. So it was just a ugly game for us from both ends of the floor. Defensively, I won't critique us too hard, but there was too many holes within what we do. Tonight is a tough night to play a game, and a game of this magnitude against a team that good. But you still have to find it within yourself to figure things out and grind out a win. Similar to what we had to do against Georgia Southern the other night on Tuesday. We had to grind out a win. But tonight was one of those nights where it just wasn't our day. And they came in here and they got a tough road win to finish off their regular season. But we're all going to gear up and reset so that we can get to Pensacola with the right mindset so we can put an even better display on there.
3 games in 3 days. Can you win them?
Of course. Yes, I believe so. I love the position that we're in. 3 games is a lot better than 4, you know? And with the way that we can go on a streak and go on a run, I feel like the opportunity is there for us. I really want us to not take for granted the work that has been put in for us to get that coveted 1 through 4 spot. We earned it. Now we have to go out there and show validity behind that work that we have put in. But Pensacola, I think we're all looking forward to it. It's just a matter of us going back to the drawing board, getting people rested, getting people healthy, so when we do go out there, we can put on the show that I know that we can.
You had 9 seniors you honored tonight.
Yes.
Why after the game? Just curious.
I wanted to try something different. Normally before the game with girls, it's rather emotional. And when you have that many, it's a lot to stabilize, you know, in terms of 9 individuals with their families, a lot of distractions. First quarter usually is ugly, then they kind of settle into the game. Well, I don't know if it backfired on me tonight by going at the end of the game, but we just could not find it. The rhythm. I feel like it wasn't the zone, you know, because the zone, they had holes all over the floor. We just weren't as aggressive at attacking it as I would like. We settled for a lot of threes, 21. That's uncharacteristic of us. I felt like we could have gotten in deeper, collapsed them more, found great opportunities. But it breaks your back when you do get in there. You do get the offensive rebound and you miss the putback. You do have the guards penetrating and they're dumping down to post players and they miss the layup. You know, those things are just, it takes the wind out of your sail. It really does. And it happened far too many times tonight for us to be able to recover from. If you go 0 for 7 in a stretch and James Madison gets 7 possessions, you're in trouble, you know, because they're that talented, that skilled, and they will punish you from that regard. Peyton McDaniels had a big night, a big night. She was spectacular. She showed up for them in a major way. With them being down a player or two, Coach Lover is huge for them on the inside, and I feel like they have other players that are stepping up and giving that 1% more that's required for them to push through.
How do you, with the tournament coming up now, how do you put this game behind you and get the girls in the right mindset to tackle the tournament?
Well, I don't know if you put it behind you. I think we have to really take a hard look because I think this was a treat for us. It was a gift in an odd way. We need to look at it because it exposed something within us, whether it's the zone defense, whether it's our mentality towards it, whether it's holes within our defense with how they were attacking us. It exposed some things. So I would rather see it now so that we can use it for fuel.
Okay.
And tactics going into conference tournament time. You know, I would hate to have to see this then. but for them to show us that a lot of teams play zone against us. We've been successful against many of them, but tonight was just one of those nights where it was just a little funky for us. But we're going to dissect this and learn from it so that we can use it as an asset towards what we're trying to fight for.
There were times in the game where you were playing really good defense, out near the three-point line and above the top of the key, and then they would go inside and get a layup.
Yep.
What was going on there?
Well, the defense was aggressive, and I love it when my guards are aggressive. But then my post play, I'm not going to beat them up too much, but I have to tell the truth. They strayed away from what we do. We weren't as physical as we should be. We didn't do our work as early as we normally do. And now when you have that pressure mounting outside of the three-point line and the ball goes in, you're on an island by yourself. And if we're allowing them to get as deep of the position that we did all night long, they're going to score because they're talented. And we can't bring you help, so you're on your own. And that's really what happened the majority of the time tonight. Then once they hurt us enough in the paint from post play back to basket, then they started their cutting game. And Peyton McDaniels got loose for a few. And they have very dynamic guards that can score off the bounce. And the ball just went in for them at a high rate today.
Does it matter who you're going to play?
It does not. It does not matter who we're going to play, because regardless of it all, it's 3 games. And I think everyone's going to have that mindset. 3 games in front of you, 120 minutes of play. You got to make each one of those minutes count, and you only can go by 40, Knock off 40, you survive the next day, reset, knock off 40, get to the championship game, it's anyone's. And with the way that this conference is built, it really can be anyone's championship.
Of your 9 seniors, some of them are coming back. Okay.
Yes. We have 9 seniors. Some of them are coming back. Obviously, Jordan McLaughlin, Kay Clark, Lynetta Williams, those are the 3 that do not have any more eligibility left. But all of the others, the remaining 6, they have an opportunity to come back.
Okay.
Coach, just one quick question about that third quarter. You guys had cut it to 7 points, and then they went on that 8-0 run, and you called a timeout. At what point, what were you telling your team at that point?
At that point, I was just trying to conjure up a different type of energy. I didn't like the body language. I didn't like what I was feeling, and it showed in their play on the court. I feel like too many people went inward, and they were disappointed in something that happened in the first quarter. This game is too fast for us to hold on to things that happened in the past. You have to go on to the next play. Move on. Have a strong mentality. Try to fix rather than suffering from what happened. There's a positivity that is attached to moving on. But when people go inwardly, we stop talking, and if we stop talking, that means we're not getting the information out that we're accustomed to giving to one another on the defensive end, and now that makes us flat-footed, and then all hell breaks loose at that point. But that third quarter was a tough one because you come out of halftime in hopes of whatever speech that you give, whatever video that you show, they can take that information and apply it. But for some reason, it felt like we were still spinning our wheels a little bit and just could not get out of that funk. But I have to commend them because, sometimes there are things that go on in the game outside of the court that can really affect the mental and emotional psyche of players. And there's a lot going on, but we're going to weather the storm, and we're going to regroup, and we're going to love on one another, and we're going to remain confident, and we're going to circle our wagons so that we can go to Pensacola and put on the show that I know that we can.
So a lot of things happen behind the scenes that we don't know about.
Right.
Can you get rid of all that in a week?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. That's the beautiful thing about student athletes. They're very resilient, and have tremendous resolve. But we have to have the conversation. Normally after we have conversation and we can put all the emotions out and we can sift through things and we can show them what really matters and what doesn't, how we can compartmentalize and see what is of urgency and what can wait, then usually we have good results from that.
Coach, earlier on in the season, we went on the road to Coastal Carolina. Myrtle Beach, you addressed the team in front of everybody, kind of how that weekend was kind of like an environment being at Pensacola. How do you turn off the distractions when we're down there?
I think it's more so about us creating our own little bubble and not being distracted by the ambiance, the beach, family and friends that may come, or even the other teams and your friends that may be in the hotel with you. We have to go there with one collective mindset, and that's to become champions. We want to get to that final game and give ourselves a chance of being able to be the 2024 Sun Belt Conference champions.
Coach, picking back off of Pierce, when you get late into those semifinal and final games, if you get there, how do you avoid the hero ball and sticking to the game plan?
Well, I had a coach, Michael Cooper, the great Laker that he is. He always used to say, dance with the same person you came here with. You know, don't try to do anything different or anything new. It's an ordinary moment with extraordinary repercussions on the end. And I want my players to understand that while what you're playing for is huge, don't allow that to overwhelm you to where it squeezes out all of the energy and has you flat-footed and on your heels. You still got to play the game. So we're going to have some tough physical practices. We're also going to get them some rest, but we have to conjure up this spirit of it's win or go home. Win or go home. We want postseason play, and we want to dictate while we have the opportunity to dictate what type of postseason play. We want to go dancing in March. I don't want it to have to be the WBIT or the WNIT when we have the opportunity to allow it to be March Madness. That's what this thing is all about. That's what we've been fighting for all season. So, yes, we took a licking tonight from James Madison. We tip our hat to them, but we still have work to do. So it's about us not hanging our heads and licking our wounds for too long. We move on. Process, move on. Process, move on, get better, and play the next game.
Delisha, you have a lot of connections in men's and women's basketball. You dropped by to see Mike Jones today, I understand, for just a few minutes. Tell me what you think about the ODU hiring Mike Jones.
I think it's a home run hire. I do. I share the same sentiments as Jeff Jones. You know, we were all at dinner last night, and he made a toast, and in his toast he stated that President Hemphill and Dr. Wood-Selig, they got it right. And I commend them for getting this done in such a short period of time, but it makes it a lot easier when you have someone with a resume like his. He is successful, he is one of ours, and he's coming back home. I think it's going to be tremendous for the community, on campus, and within Norfolk to have him come back.
Have you known him at all? Had you met him?
I have not, but I told him we need to talk because we might be cousins somewhere down the line because we share the last name Jones. I have not, but he seems like a tremendous individual. I met him and his wife in passing. We were in shoot-around today, and he was on his way to the press conference, and we just showed him some love and just congratulated him. But once all of the dust settles, for sure, we share a wall in the midst, so I'm sure he'll either come over to me or I'll go over to him, and I'll welcome him properly.
Coach, you have several players on your team that have won championships other places before coming here. How much are you leaning on them this week in the prep for Pensacola?
I'm leaning on them heavily, and it's been that way for the past 2-3 weeks or so. We've been having those types of conversations where I don't always want it to be just me based off of my experiences with being in championship games or big moments. I want them to hear it from the player's perspective. So I put the responsibility on them to tell the story. Do you feel this energy? Does it match the moment that you were in when you guys did play and win? Well, now I want you to conjure that up in your teammates. How can we allow that to linger so that they can really get the essence of what's going on and accomplish this goal?
Anything else for Coach?
No? Thank y'all.
Yeah, thank you so
Thank
much.
y'all. Let's keep this party going.